In this video, we're going to discuss the CNY HMIS homepage dashboard and what you're looking at and how you as a user can customize your own homepage dashboard. A few things to note, and we're going to cover this again in new user training, is that your home provider is always here at the top left side of your screen. So your home provider is the provider you're in the system as soon as you log in. On the other side of the screen, you can see your name. This is a test user, and your role in the very far top right side of your screen. And then you have a little icon which has a person and a gear. One of the things you can do without requesting it through the HMIS help desk is you have the ability to update your email address and telephone number at any time. So if you don't find your telephone number here, you can always add it. If your telephone number changes, you can also change it here as well without requesting a change through the user license request process. And then you could also change your password once you've logged in. If you have a password you want to change it to within the 45-day period of time. So before the system forces you to change your password, you have the ability to change your own password if you think it's been compromised in any way, or if you accidentally saved it to the computer and you want to make sure that somebody else doesn't access it, you can change your password here. Anytime you update information on this user profile, you can save and exit, and then it'll update it within HMIS for all users who can access your file. You also have all of the modes as well at the top right side of your screen. You have the shadow mode if you're an agency administrator. This mode gives you the access to view the system as one of your case managers or one of your users that you directly supervise. There's enter data as mode, which everybody has access to as well. There is backdate mode, which allows you to backdate the system to a period of time and add data and information to the system. And then you have the connect to business objects reporting module if you do have access to do reports for your user license. You also, on the left side of your screen, have a list of items and icons. These are all called modules. So from the home module all the way down to the admin module, if it depends on what your license is and what access your administrator has allowed you to have. Some people may have the shelters module or the fund manager may not, but everybody does have the ability to have some level of reports, and they have the clients module and the home page. So on the home page, you'll see an option for system news and agency news. These are news feeds that your agency or administrator or system administrator can access and upload. You'll notice there's a yellow star next to certain news feeds. This means you haven't read the information within this news feed. So you can open that up, read the news that's been posted, and then exit. There's also a follow-up list that's added to your homepage dashboard. So if you have any follow-up dates that you've added to a client file within your data entry processes, a lot of times these are within the goal planning, service transactions, and referrals and needs section of a client file in HMIS. If you added a follow-up date, you will see a list of follow-up dates that are still active. The client ID will be present. You won't be able to see the name, the type of follow-up, the date it's due, and the time remaining. So you can have information of any follow-ups that you may be missing or may be coming up soon. You also have the ability to customize your homepage dashboard. So there's a lot of different counts and reports that you can add to your homepage that you can run, and it runs every day. The moment you log into the system, you can look at it. If you wanted to add any count reports, these are reports you can have download with lists. You can add them by clicking on the pencil, and then there's 4 reports that will show on your home screen at any time, and it will update information as information is updated within specific projects. and project level providers. So there are different report names for program managers and also end user or case managers level users. So you can add any of these client reports. These are usually clients that you're accessing or that are being enrolled or are currently enrolled within a project provider. So one of the reports that case managers use often is clients with expiring ROIs or releases of information. So if you are a case manager, you're doing data entry into a project that serves people for longer than a year, you can run this report and have this report run every day. You can add some filters to this report. So you could say, I just wanted to pull the clients from yesterday or this week, this month, etc., or just today. So you can leave it just today. You can pull it by a provider. So you can choose the provider that you want to run it for. And you can click OK. And then once that happens, you will see a number pop up. So if you had any clients with expiring ROIs, it would give a number. Any of these numbers, you can see how you have the ability to click on it. If there were clients, you could click on that number. It'll pull up a report with the client ID, name, social, date of birth, gender, and number of expiring releases of information. And so you'll have that information and you can go and update that release of information for that client. So there's a variety of different count reports and you can choose 4 to run at any given time. You can also, another option is if you just wanted a list of your clients. So this is if you've added yourself as a case manager to a client record and that case manager status is still active, you could pull a list of my clients and then click OK. And then you also have a list of all clients that are assigned to you and currently active, and you're a currently active case manager for. So these are some different reports, different manager reports. You can go ahead and fool around with these reports and see what happens and pull them. And you can also refresh them and download them, and they're here for your use every day. The last few things I want to talk about within HMIS is the top right side. There's these 2 options of last viewed and favorites. So last viewed, if you open it, you can click on this little arrow. If you open it, anytime you log into the system and view client records within a login period, they're saved within this last view module. So if you look at 10 records, you add case notes to each one of those clients, and then you forget that you had to do something in a client's record that you viewed previously, you could go to the last viewed list. It'll show up as a client ID. If you hover over the ID, it'll show you the client name. And then you can just click on that client ID and it'll take you into the client file. You can also add clients to a list that's called favorites. So if you have a client that you work with very often, maybe on a daily or consistently weekly basis, and you want to not have to search for that client each time you go into the system, you can add them to what's called a favorite list. And the way you do that is you go into a client record, and you go up to the top left side of your screen where there is a blue star. And if you click on that blue star, now you have a client who's been added to your list of favorites. And again, if you hover over that client profile with the ID number 10, you can see that the client's name and information will populate, so you can see specifically who that client is. And then again, if you want to click on that client name, you have the option and it will take you into the file. So that's just a little bit about the homepage dashboard and what you can and cannot do in order to update it and make it your own.